Hi everyone, my name is Craig and I am a video director and producer, and in today's video we're taking a look at my top 10 favorite Adobe Premiere keyboard shortcuts to save you time when editing in Premiere. Okay, this list of shortcuts are ones that I use in almost every edit. Time is money, and if you are spending more time than necessary editing, you are literally losing money. So let's dive right into these top 10 keyboard shortcuts that'll save you time in Premiere. Okay, number one is setting in and out points and also using those in and out points to timeline footage using the comma key and the period key. For example, we take a look at this couch. I'm gonna hit I on my keyboard to set an in point. Maybe I want my clip to start right there, or I decide, actually right here. So hit I, that's gonna give you an in point. Wherever you want this clip to end, say it's right here, you're gonna hit out. And this gives you a quick and easy way so you don't have to timeline the entire clip, you can just timeline your favorite portion of a clip. So right now my playhead, I can select between two clips right here. So I'm right between the clips and I'm gonna hit comma, and it's going to insert this clip of the couch between those existing clips. But if I would prefer for the couch to overwrite the position of this playhead and paste the clip onto my timeline, I could use the period key and it will overwrite the position of that clip. So now that clip is been overwritten by the couch clip. Number two is export still frame. All you're gonna have to do is click on your program window, so this window in the top right, find a still frame that you wanna use. So maybe you wanna use this one right here. Make sure your program window selected, hold Shift and hit E on your keyboard, and this will pull up the export frame window. You can export any type of file that's listed here. If you want a JPEG, you can browse where you want that file to live, and then just hit export. And then you will have a still frame of that image in your media pool for you to access later. Number three is using ripple trim, which is Q and W on your keyboard. So instead of traditionally, if I wanted to cut out maybe a middle section of this clip, I would hit my cut tool, I would make a cut here, I'd figure out the next point in which I want to make a cut, hit cut, select that clip, delete the clip, and then move the other clips over to fill the gap. But there's a much easier way to do that. So all I would have to do is decide, okay, I'm wanting to cut out this portion, and then let's say I want to remove all this section right here. If I just hit Q on the keyboard, it's gonna delete everything right away from that position and realign the entire sequence to that next point. And W does the same thing, it's just from the opposite direction. So if you want everything from the left to be deleted, you hit W and it'll delete everything up to that point. It's just a much quicker way to edit, so use Q and W instead of using that classic cut, delete, move everything over. Q and W saves you a lot of time. Okay, number four is paste attributes. This is an option where you can copy all of a track's effects and paste them to another clip to save you time. So for this clip right here, I've modified the scale, the rotation, I've added a ridiculous color correction so it's super bright, and I've also added an effect called corner pin. And say I wanted to copy all those effects to the very next clip, which is just a continuation of the same clip right there. And I didn't want to take the time to copy each individual effect. All I'm gonna have to do is click on the clip, hit Command C to copy the clip and the clip attributes, go to the next clip, and I'm gonna hit Option Command V, and that will paste attributes, and you can select everything you wanna paste. Maybe you didn't want the corner pin, maybe you did. Select everything you want and then hit Enter for OK, and then very quickly you will now have the same effects on the subsequent clip that you copied this to. Another tip, you can literally select all of the clips in this sequence, and if you wanted to Command V those, hit Enter. Now all of these clips have that ridiculous corner pin to them. Number five is to apply a default transition, which is just Command D on your keyboard. I have my default transition set to crossfade or cross dissolve. So if I select a point between two clips and I come here and I just hit Command D on the keyboard, it'll generate my default transition, which is a cross dissolve, and it cross dissolves between those. So you can literally do this between any clip. Command D applies that default transition. A quick hack, you can go into your effects panel and go into your video transitions, and you can select any one of these to be your default transition. Mine is selected right here, but you can select any one if you wanted your iris box. You just gotta right click and set selected as default transition. And now every time you do that, it'll do this ridiculous box transition. Wow, that is ridiculous. Number six is to nudge a clip. You can use this by hitting Command on your keyboard, select a clip, and then use your arrow keys. Command, and then if I hit the left arrow, I am nudging this one frame to the left anytime that I want it. So it just nudges. And if you hold Shift as well, you can do this 5 frames at a time to nudge a clip 5 frames. This is really helpful for just fine tuning your edits if you're creating cool transitions and effects, and it's really detail oriented. You can nudge a clip very quickly with the keyboards rather than having to go in with the mouse and shift things left and right. Okay, number 7 is redo. A lot of people use Command Z all the time, use Command Z for everything, which is undo. But redo is a very quick way to view before and after of something. So you go into this clip and let's say you want it to be way brighter. So this is 2 stops brighter. And let's say I don't like that, Command Z, but maybe you did want that. So hold Shift Command Z, and now you can just go back and forth between those 2 clips by holding Command Z and Shift Command Z. So redo is a very quick way to undo and redo something that you've done, an action you performed on your timeline. Number 8 is speed. So if you hit Command R on your keyboard, you can quickly pull up your speed adjustments. And let's say you shot in 60 FPS on a 24 frame timeline. This means you can slow it down to 40%. So go ahead and hit 40 on your keyboard and boom, just like that, you now have a slow motion clip on your keyboard without having to go into other window interfaces. And if you wanted to make any more adjustments, hold Command R again. If you wanted it back to 100%, there you go, and it's back to normal speed. Number 9 is create a new sequence. You can simply hit Command N to pull up a new sequence dialog box, select what sequence you want, and hit OK, and you're right into a new sequence. I use this one all the time because I'm creating multiple sequences per project. And 10th and finally is simply export media. If you want to export your timeline, go ahead and set your in and out points on your timeline like we mentioned using I and L. And then simply hit Command M on your keyboard, and this will pull up the media encoder interface built into Premiere, and you can export your footage straight from hitting just that short keyboard shortcut. You don't have to go into File or Sequence, Render, or File, Export Project. You can simply do it by hitting Command M, and you're ready to go. Okay, I hope these shortcuts will help you speed up your editing workflow. If there are other keyboard shortcuts that you use, drop them in the comments down below so others can try them out. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Much love.